Storyboard today, R.Balki on how advertising influenced his filmmaking, the best Super Bowl ads so far, and an exclusive preview of HDFC Live's new TVC. Hello and welcome to Storyboard. I'm Pavni Mittal. 6 years after making the national award-winning film Pa, Lowe's R.Balki is back with his next venture. Starring Amitabh Bachchan and Dhanush, Shamitabh is a story about the rise of a village boy as a superstar and will release next week. Here's Balki on how his love for films led him to advertising, how one has influenced the other, and how his clients react to his absence. Listen in. This is your third film. So what led to what? Did your advertising career influence you to get into films, or did you always want to be a filmmaker and this was just easier to break into first?
I actually was actually clueless what to do, and I always wanted to make films. I went to the Madras Film Institute at that point from Bangalore. I was living in Bangalore. I went to the Chennai Film Institute. I didn't like that institute. I didn't like the people who interviewed me. Strangely, I don't know why at that point of time. And I went and studied something else, computers actually. But one day an ad came in the papers which said, "Tell me who you are," or something like that. And there was a logo of Mudra there. And I didn't know there was an advertising. There was an entity called an advertising agency. I had no clue. So this logo I used to see at the end of every Bunyad episode. So I said, Ramesh Sippy is calling me. So let me appear. So then I met Naganand Kumar, who I fondly call Naga. He's my mentor in advertising. So he told me, yes, he said he'd come and spend 6 months with me. This was like we were guinea pigs for Mica. Mica started much later. So I didn't have any clue. I didn't even know there was an advertising agency. So I said, come, 6 months, 1 year, then you can meet Ramesh Sippy. That's how I was conned into. I was conned into advertising.
Okay.
I realized, I said, nice, yeah. We were sitting in the house, watching movies, good stuff. Then even in advertising, it was all about, I always used to think, how would I make my first movie? Who would give me money? And here there were people coming with a lot of money and saying, give me ideas, give me ideas, give me ideas. So it's still nice stories. People are giving money for nice stories. So I started enjoying advertising like that, and I got addicted to it completely. So then suddenly one idea for a film happened. That's how it actually, films led to advertising, not the other way around.
Okay, so then how did Chini Come happen? That's your first film, right?
Yeah,
so
Chini Come happened. I was struggling for a Lifebuoy ad. If you remember that little Gandhi ad, the boy sweeping the lane and all the getting the community to kind of sweep it, and then I was struggling for that ad. Me and there was my creative director called Ashit Desai. We were sitting in a room and we were brainstorming, and I was saying, Ashit, what do we do? Yeah, Lifebuoy. I didn't know what to do. I was saying, I said, let me go to the Lowe. I went to take a leak, and I came back and said, I have an idea for a film. I said, yeah, we should do this, yeah. I came back, Ashit, I've got an idea. Ashit said, what? What is the left? See, I've got an idea. I should be playing this thing and saying, Chini Come. He was just done. So the next 10 minutes we spent talking of Chini Come. Then as we were going on, we got the idea for Lifebuoy also, and we went. Okay. So it happened like that. It was. But
then how did you execute it? As in, how did you set up your production house? How did the
I didn't set up any production house. My friend Sunil Manchanda was there, and I just messaged Amitji saying, I have an idea. You'd be interested.
So advertising contacts helped you in that?
Actually, strangely, not even advertising contacts, because the very first ad film I wrote for Amitji, it was also one of his first ad films, I think. After BPL, he took a long break, then he came back into advertising with Parker. Okay. I wrote Parker, the ads, but I didn't go to meet him, very strangely. And I just went for about 10 minutes to the shoot, and I came out. And somewhere, some kind of dabba or something connection happened. And in fact, he told me once, you should write or something like that. So that was the back of my head. I don't know when he told me, in which mood or whatever. It happened. So then I messaged him saying, I have an idea. So I told him a one-line idea, and I said, if you're interested, then I will write. He said, I'm interested, write it. Then I wrote it for him and Tabu. I asked Tabu also the same question. Both were interested, and I wrote it. They liked the script, and I did it.
Okay. How have the films influenced your advertising career, creatively?
Film is communication through another medium. How do you communicate a story? There are certain things you take for granted when telling a story, or you assume the story is in your head. For it to reach people, you need to go, it's like an algorithm. You may be lateral in the beginning, but then you've got to be linear to communicate the laterality. You may not have to say everything, but what is the one thing that you say that everything else will be communicated? Okay.
Storytelling in, say, 30 seconds, and in some cases 5 minutes now, versus storytelling in, say, 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Which is easier? Which is more fun?
We're all actually very strange, because when you see an ad, you absorb information much faster than when you see a film. If you do films at the pace of ads, your mind will reject it. If you do an ad at the pace of a film, your mind will reject it. So ads have a certain pace. So I think it's not about the challenge. It's each one is about a way of storytelling for the medium.
You've been on set and writing for much longer, I assume, since for the last 1 year at least, right? You've been shooting since last year.
Yeah.
So how do you manage your day job and your night job, if I can bifurcate it?
I don't manage it; it gets managed.
So how do you do that?
I don't make any effort. I think I'm possibly one of the very few lucky people to have the most fabulous team. There's a lot of wonderful people all around Lowe who are now, before they used to be, they needed me to kind of be a face to some of the things they create. But today I think they've become faces themselves. So you shouldn't be asking how I manage, you should be asking why do they need me.
Okay.
So I think it's a good thing, because I think that's what our organizations are about. It's building a team, and fortunately the good people all grew up together with me in Lowe. So it was like a nice thing. Nobody wants to see your face. People want to see the work. People are not here in it for a particular person. People are saying they are in it for a particular person because that person ensures the work will happen. But the work is happening without that person being there. The person is not important. The work is important.
So there will be no instances of...
There would be one or two here there saying, Maki, this is not happening or something. So you get into it at that point in time, regardless of where it is. Because last film, I remember I've had PPMs in my vanity van. I've had things like that. So these things happen. But in this film, I've had absolutely no problems as far as advertising is concerned.
Will you see more creative directors getting into film?
After my first film, when I went back, I realized that I could actually do the work in half the time. It's more than cutting out the faff, cutting out. You realize you can do work faster, not that fast, but you can do it faster than what you used to do before. So I feel people can do more. And I also believe that it also taught me a very big lesson in advertising, where when we talk of monetization, we talk of revenues, we talk of pressures, which is there. I think the biggest thing we're not monetizing is people's time. We're misusing people's time and doing a lot of things that they're not supposed to do, or just doing a lot of unnecessary things. If we because our currency is only time. We don't have anything else. We don't have machinery. We have minds and time. And time is about directly related to how much you can use the mind. So I just think it's about efficient usage of time. The one thing films have taught me, and which will teach me in advertising, is how to do things faster. Okay.
I want to ask you now, film marketing, marketing in films has become so much more important because of corporatization and everybody chasing a 100 crore number. How involved are you in the marketing of your film?
I just believe marketing is not about doing the same old thing. It's about being interesting. When your marketing is interesting, your film will look interesting. We did the first audio trailer ever, which is an audio trailer. We did lots of things. We're going to launch, you're going to see a lot of things we're going to do for the Voice of India. What are we doing? Because nobody has even short of the thought of shooting a national anthem with the Voice of India in the place where the national anthem was written. Actually, nobody's ever kind of put those two together. So and even all the it's not just the events which you do. Of course, you're celebrating Ilayaraja's 1000th film. That was not an event that was planned for marketing. It was just a tribute that we paid to a music director, one of the greatest composers of all time. I just believe each of the things that you do, even your trailers that you cut, even your promos that you cut, have to not be untruthful to the film. They have to be truthful to the film, but they have to be interesting in themselves. They can't be just saying bland, this is what it is.
So they'll be ads for your film, basically.
They are ads for your film. So you're cutting ads for your film.
Okay. I want to talk to you about the Lifebuoy song. So can you tell me how that came about? Because Lifebuoy is your client.
Actually, it was not Lifebuoy is your client. I never thought of that. I never thought of product placement and all that shit. And there is no product placement actually of Lifebuoy in the film. I was writing the script, and this was a film in film, which is because he's a star and he's shooting a film. So I said that what is going to be a smash hit which is going to be different inside a film? So he said, okay, a vigilante killer. There's a director who says, I've got this film about a vigilante killer who wipes out all the evils of society. Every night he comes and kills some very bad people, so the government has his job easy or something like that. So I said, okay, that's been done. So what do we do in terms of this thing? So I said, what if a poor boy was bathing with Lifebuoy? It also kills germs, supposed to kill germs. So I said, okay. He also kills germs. What if he calls himself Lifebuoy and starts killing the germs of society? So the whole thing is, we did a film called Lifebuoy.
Okay.
Inside a thing where the character is Lifebuoy, so he will shoot people and say Tandurusti ki raksha karta hai.
But has HUL put in money for that? Has there been a tie-up at all?
There is a promotional tie-up
Okay.
from HUL on this one. But even if they had not, for any reason, I would have still gone ahead with that because I wouldn't have been able to change it. I can't call it Dettol.
Yeah.
You know, you have to call it Lifebuoy. You can't kill, germs. And
But
say Dettol.
earlier you had a character nicknamed Colgate in Chini Kam.
That has got nothing to do
Did Pepsodent mind?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah. And people have a sense of humor. And Colgate had a brand placement on the. Anybody you say teeth, Colgate this. It's one common kind of. In fact, most of the brand tie-ups in this film have got nothing to do with my clients. I have not asked a single, except for Lifebuoy, and I think Noor has tied up with us. That's also because of a scene in the film which requires a soup. So therefore, it's a Noor soup, and it's a good endorsement. The rest of them are not my clients at all. I've not even met any of my clients.
Shamitabh will release on 6 Feb. We're going to take a short break here. When we come back, the best Super Bowl ad so far.